the global use of offshore bank accounts to hide trillions of dollars and evade laws.
Parallel financial universe in which world leaders and the mega rich can hide billions of dollars in secretive offshore accounts.
The people that you expect to use tax havens are the super wealthy. But when you look at this world, you find that it's not just the super wealthy that are using it, it's moderately wealthy. Doctors, dentists, small-time developers, they've all discovered this world.
There's a migration happening in the United States, and not of people, of money. You see, Swiss banks just reported a surge in new American clients. Now, we're not just talking about the 0.1%. Financial Times confirmed this, that wealth managers are taking daily calls from American engineers, tech founders, entrepreneurs, all asking one question.
How do I open a Swiss account from the United States?
This isn't conspiracy, it's not criminal. In fact, it's perfectly legal, but not exactly easy, and that's the point. It's still just exclusive enough that most people won't bother. But those who do are protecting their future before the cracks become collapses. You see, the US dollar has fallen over 8% in about the past year against major currencies, right? That's not just random, that's a warning shot. And it just hit a 3-year low. CNBC quoted a wealth advisor, Pierre Gebrius. He said, Americans are waking up to a simple fact that 100% of their wealth is tied to a system that they no longer trust. And once that realization hits, you just gotta start wondering, why haven't I diversified before? So a recent Financial Times article laid it out clearly that Swiss banks are seeing a wave of interest from Americans who aren't traditional global investors. Traditional global investors, people who have always believed America's safe. Now even they're spooked. When Americans get nervous, history will have you see that they move their money to Switzerland. Look, it happened in 2008, right? It happened during lockdowns, right? And it's definitely happening again right now. So let me ask you something. If your life savings is in the US banking system, what happens if the next 24 months look like the last 12? Will inflation cool down? Will the debt magically disappear? Will the Fed protect your portfolio? Look, you don't have to be paranoid. You just have to be realistic, right? Because let's face it, the billionaires, they're not waiting for this crash. They hedge this before anyone else sees the warning signs. And that's exactly what this move to Switzerland is. It's basically a hedge with some dignity. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Isn't offshore banking shady? Not really. Actually, today's Swiss financial system is one of the most transparent and compliant in the world. They've actually worked with US regulators for years at this point to have full legality and accountability. You still have to report your taxes, yes. You still have to do it by the book, yes. But you gain what most Americans don't even know they've lost, which is currency diversification, political neutrality, asset protection, and you're hedging against instability. Opening an account is legal, but it requires guidance because the system isn't built for you to figure it out on your own. The people moving their money to Switzerland today aren't trying to escape, they're just trying to last, endure. They're planning not just for themselves, but for their children, for their businesses, and for their legacy. Most people will ignore this, and that's fine. They'll scroll past, and that's fine. They'll convince themselves that it's overreacting until it's too late. But if something inside you stirred while seeing this, if this made you think about the bigger picture, then follow this page to help you stay a few steps ahead. Not just with silliness, but with strategy. This isn't the last disruption you'll see, but it might be the first one you can act on.